Carrie.
I'm Peter.
It's not Sunday morning.
Sunday evening.
And it's raining.
It's raining.
But it's beautiful. We're on the porch. Let's see, week 13. For a couple weeks now, I wanted to elaborate on 3 different things we've talked about. And I want to do it. I want to try to do it quickly. Not elaborate, specify maybe. Yeah, maybe that's a better term. Do you want to say anything?
I want to just say that with the rain and all that, it's nice. It's not like cold rain, so that's when I go for a ride these days and it rains, it doesn't feel really cold. Because so many times in the fall or the spring, if it rains, I'm like, I don't want to go. But now when I go this month and next month, July and August, it's not bad. The Tour de France is ending, and just like the idea that when the Tour de France ends, it's kind of like when the robins come in the spring, you know, summer's coming or the spring is coming. When the Tour de France ends, then I know it's kind of getting close to the end of the summer, so I got a couple more weeks before school.
Yeah, the Tour de France is like a marker for us, as well as like the World Series.
Yeah.
Like I'm more in the World Series because then I know summer's really over.
Yeah, because we like listening to baseball.
And watching the Tour de France over coffee.
Yeah.
When we can, together.
Those things, those kinds of things. And when the end of October, when it's all over, we're like, kind of like that. Same with the tour, when it's the end of July, it's kind of like, oh, now what do we do? You know, but we find things to do.
But do you want to say who won? Because it's unusual.
Egan Bernal from Colombia, he won the Tour de France, which has never happened before. A Colombian has won stages or mountain climbs, but this kid is unbelievable. And he didn't even really do one of the disciplines very well, so there's going to be a long, long time for this guy to be on top, because he's 21 and he's going to be good for a long time, 10 years, maybe more. Who knows?
Anything else? Anything else?
Anything else?
Oh, anything else?
No, yeah. Well, I mean, like next week we have our anniversary, our 26-year anniversary. So a lot of times, Kari and I, when we do our anniversary, and it's always in the summer, like at the end of July, and we have time, since we're teachers, to like make it a week-long thing. So I have some staff development early in the week, and Kari has some commitments. Then once the day is there, the 31st, we will probably go camping, and it'll be like a long celebration for us. We kind of stretch it out and make it long. We've always
usually gone camping too.
Yep, and made it a weekend or two, and kind of not 2 weekends, but like more than one thing or 2 things, I guess. So I guess happy anniversary. Early. We can start celebrating.
We can talk about it next week. Okay. I do not, okay, I have a really hard time expressing myself. I express myself so much better when I write. It just flows so much more easily when I write than when I'm talking. But when I'm just talking with you and I'm off camera, that's different. I don't know, I think there's something about like being on camera. I get flustered. This is not my medium, but I'm really doing my best here with the thing, with the video here. So this honestly is my best. Okay, so the 3 things I want to talk about. Okay, the one thing I want to talk about with Elton John when we talked about the movie, the one thing that I forgot to mention is that I was so moved by or the lesson to take from it was that, Elton was like looking for love throughout the entire movie, but like he had Bernie the whole time, his songwriter, who like unconditionally loved him. He didn't get it from his parents. he did get, no, he didn't get it. I was just going to say he did get it from his mom. I know.
She was
And I just think that's so symptomatic of our culture to like not notice where it is, to look for it in the wrong places, or to think that we need to get it from certain places when it's obviously coming from somewhere else. And I don't know how to say that. I'm not going to just keep elaborating on it. I think you get it or you don't get it. That was something I really took away from the movie Rocketman. The other one was when I talked about the darkness of being an artist. I recently read The Heart is a Lonely Hunter, and I actually read it on our last camping trip. And when I was reading it, I thought, this has to be a literary classic that I've never heard of. It just has to be. And I talked to him about it, and we see our neighbor looking at us. He's probably like, are you guys making your video? What is it about this week?
Yeah.
Okay, so, see, I'm totally flustered. So, it is a literary classic, and I've never heard of it before, and I am so great. I literally stumbled upon this book, and I was so intrigued by it. It was published in the 40s by a woman named Carson McCullers, who was 23 when she wrote it. And I did a little bit of research on the author. It turns out that she suffered from alcoholism and a lot of other ailments, and died at an early age. And I just thought, oh, she's a brilliant mind. And in the 1940s, she seems so intuitive and so brilliant. Like, where do you put that in the 1940s, especially as a female? So that was just something that I thought interesting. Well, and the last thing I wanted to say, if I can remember what it is. Oh, when I talked about time.
Similarities in the J.D. Salinger movie we watched too.
Yeah. When I talked about time, and I think we have a skewed, or we think that sometimes we see time as we're victims of time. I want to make sure that I'm clear that that doesn't mean that stuff gets done. That just means I want to make sure where I spend my time is where my priorities are. And, number one thing that doesn't happen is house cleaning. And that fell right away when I started creating every day. The house cleaning went out the door. There was a time where I couldn't handle there being a piece of lint on the floor. I couldn't sit down and watch a movie with him. And now it's like, there are dust bunnies. And it drives me crazy, but I know that one day I'll come along and we'll clean the house. We'll have an inspiration, and we'll just clean the house. And for the time being, I just don't put my time there. So I think it's not about that there's an unlimited amount of time. There's a limited amount of time, and it's where we choose to put our time. And you and I do priority grids, because sometimes it gets confusing. Like, what's a priority? And we list 5 things. And sometimes it surprises us. What surprises us, what's the first priority? So if you want to hear about a priority grid or learn about a priority grid, let us know. You've done it with even a race. We've done it. Like, let's do a priority grid around a race or something. Or what's a priority grid around the week at school?
Yeah.
Or something.
I ask myself questions. But with the cleaning of the house, I've always, well, not always, but the last couple of years, I've made it a priority. And my priority grid is like, I know there's dust bunnies and there's things that need to be folded and stuff like that, but I've tried very hard to just make sure that the dishes are done, in the kitchen and with the dishwasher and that.
No, you've got the kitchen down.
As much as everything else is out of order, I've just made sure that when or Kari needs to use the kitchen or the counter, it's available.
Which we need to do right now, because we need to eat. But you need to eat dinner. But the spare room has just a giant mound of clean clothes that probably won't be folded because they're just not on the priority.
Oh, and we mentioned things like that, if we were to put the size of laundry, pile of Kari's laundry in my pile, I mean, it's like there is a giant, like I use a lot more laundry. Like I'm dirty, and with school and with being in gym class, and working out and all that stuff like that, like stacks up. And then in the wintertime when I'm skiing and I'm in long underwear, it even gets bigger, you know. Anyway.
Where I'm just wearing painting clothes sometimes, most days. Not, yeah.
I mean, you wear one pair of jeans at school during the week, which is
This past week I did. I wore the same pair, but I changed shirts. I loved my jeans. They were so comfortable. I just thought, it's okay. I can wear these same jeans every day.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We're going to sign off with my favorite part from the tour, which is Peter rewound and rewound and rewound so we could watch it over and over.
Yeah.
So, stay.
Yeah, I know. I was watching it. I'm like, Kari's gonna love that.
You gotta, so you can just stick around for that.